Good evening, everyone. It's the Activated One New Brighton, the Futurtarian, and this video is going to be on the word no cap. Now, where did that even come from? You know where that came from? It's been orchestrated. So that's why you got all these young cats, they walk around and saying no cap. They don't even know why they say it because they're not activated. So they don't understand that everything's being orchestrated for certain reasons. There's certain people to be at a demented state. So I got a couple of teachers waiting on me to drop intel videos. Like I broke down the plasma, broke down the activation, broke down the DNA, breaking down all this stuff, and teachers are using it in their videos. They're supposed to, because the intel's not going to be coming to a lot of people. It's going to come through a selective few on the planet, the newborns. That's what's going to come through, the future ones. But yeah, where did no cap come from? See, when you look at the word no cap, and when people say, that's cap or no cap, they don't understand that majority of these terms that get pushed like this, it's been orchestrated and it came from a hierarchy source of people. Because it's the stuff that's pushed massively, it's always an agenda to it. Now, back in back in the 90s, like the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, when the so-called black race was coming up with terms that stuck. People used to use them in the community, this and that. See, those days is over with because you're dealing with the internet. The internet's out now. You're dealing with the cyberverse. So the stuff that's being pushed, there's a subconscious mental agenda over it. Now, the reason why they're pushing the no cap, and they got the youth, because they're always going to be focused on the children and the teenagers. So it's a submental push. They're saying no cap because you notice that a lot of teachers that's out here right now, when they post their videos, they're using the caps. They're putting the videos in caps. So they're not using lowercase letters. They're using big letters to get people's attention, because when you see the caps, when you see when it's capitalized like that, it gets people's more attention. They might click on your video because it's bigger than lowercase letters or whatnot. So a lot of these teachers that's out here, I know a lot of cats that's out here teaching that they type with caps. So that's why when they started pushing that, because if you notice that no cap, it I don't know exactly when it started. They started pushing it, and they started sending their little, they little slave Negroes and their agents. They'll send them into the hood, into the neighborhoods, and start pushing their little secret agendas. And these niggas is so slow and dumbfounded, they don't even know what they're doing, because they're always going to use these agent Negroes to push the agenda for them. New Brighton, what's an agent? A agent. What does that stand for? Let me go on the Webster dictionary and look it up. It's real simple. An agent is somebody posted an agenda. That's what an agent is. So when I say somebody's an agent, it doesn't mean that it's a mental aspect. It's not literal like 007, a secret agent, man. No, their mind is stuck in an agent process. Either they're getting pushed, because every time mankind comes to these neighborhoods, like these big cities, Chicago, New York, Houston, California, and they got all they little slave Negroes that's in those hoods to push their agenda, which was the no cap. So that's why they started pushing that, because they understand that the teachers that's out here, a lot of the teachers that's out here, we're starting to write in capitalized letters. So that's a submental push. So now when they see capitalized letters in their submental, they're going to think not to watch that video because it's in cap. So you know what we're going to do? Since I'm one of the ones pushing the intel out here right now, there ain't a lot of us on the planet right now. There'll be more in the future. You know what we're going to start do? I'm just going to start writing an uncap. Because everything is evolving. Everything is in an evolvement process. So that's why they pushed the no cap. I told y'all why they pushing the no cap. And you think that a lot of people in these terms, when you're dealing with these terms that are so popular, a lot of people just think that Well, in this day and time, like I said, back in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s and stuff, when terms used to get real popular, people that really made up these terms, right? Now when you're dealing with the internet, like I said before, like all this stuff is an agenda. So when you're dealing with somebody activated, we see through all this shit. You can't get a lot past us. That's why when they pushing the no cap, boom, automatically my junk DNA and plasma activated, and I started breaking that stuff down on why the no cap's being pushed. Is because like I said, a lot of teachers, they're pushing the cap. When they spell out their videos, it's in capitalized letters. So subconsciously, in the back of a teenager's head, or somebody who's like in their early 20s, maybe their 30s, people that's using these terms, that mankind has sent their agents to the damn hoods to get these terms popping off for their agenda. But when you're dealing with a slow mental Negro, the only thing he think about is blunts, sex, money, typical Negro shit. See, when they're only thinking about that, they don't serve. You know why they think like that? It's because they're not in the future. Their future self has to send down the intel to their present self. Because your DNA code, you have a DNA code and your DNA code stays the same. Why do you think everybody's DNA code is different? It's literally everybody's DNA code. Your fingerprints are different. It's like that for a reason. That's why a lot of these cats that's out here, younger brothers and sisters, they I'm gonna give you an example. One term that actually came from the so-called black race neighborhood was the term bro. When they be like, yeah, bro, be like, bro, you know how they say bro now, especially if you got some teenage children and they say bro, right? I got a teenage daughter and she says bro. But the whole point I'm making is, when you're activated, you see that actually came from somebody in the hood that just started pushing that through the internet. But when you're dealing with cap, just think about that, man. If you really think about the word cap, man, that sounds corny as hell. It really does. It sounds corny. At least bro got a little bit of soul to it. Cap, see, that's what I'm saying, man. Mankind, they always, we back on the planet, so none of this stuff can be hidden no more. When you're dealing with the age of Aquarius. That's why they pushed the cap, because all the teachers was writing in caps. You can go on the internet right now. I guarantee if you pull up some teachers, half of them are writing in caps, because it gets people's attention. What's the A? It's the first letter of the alphabet. 10. What's the 10? The 10 is the quantum computer, the ones and the zeros. Attention. I got a couple of other videos I'm gonna do next week, and after that, you know what I'm saying, I'm focused on a lot of other stuff that's going on. But that's the no cap. That's where that came from, man. It came from mankind. It came from their agents, the agent Negroes that's in the hood that do the agendas that at hand. I'm gonna give you another example real quick, and I'm gonna be done with this video. Um, I'm gonna give you another example. What do you think that the blood? Oh, you can actually look this up. But it was so funny because I was thinking about this back in the 90s. While all these cats was coming from these different cities, I understand that they were moving drugs and doing that stuff and trying to build an empire as far as the streets go with the drugs. But I used to always say, like, why is these cats coming to these different cities? You know what? I was coming to these different cities and posting up shop. You had in Minnesota, you had a lot of people coming from Chicago, coming from um, California. Wasn't a lot coming from New York. They sent a lot of the brothers down from New York. They sent them down to like Carolina and Miami and all that stuff. But but the ones that was really back in the day, the ones that was really like pushing the big weight, the big drugs, the ones that had the weight, they got sent. They got sent there. For what? The agenda. What was the agenda? To break down the so-called black communities. But see, niggas don't see this shit. You know why? Because you know who their God is? It's the damn white man. That's who their God is. I don't care how much money you got and what um um how much money you got or nothing, man. Because when you talk to somebody, when you talk to us, the ones that are activated, we see all through that. We see y'all through that. We don't when we see y'all, when we see you slave balling niggas, when we see y'all and we see your nice cars, this and that, we thinking of the other stuff. We thinking about the broken households. We thinking about the children that's running around with feces in their diaper because their mom has access to buy drugs. We're not thinking like, oh well, she's gonna buy the drugs from somebody, so I might as well get the money from her. Tearing down your own community. That's why the other races don't respect the black race. That's why we the Futurtarians, man, they don't respect the black race. That's why they post up in y'all's neighborhoods, set up shop, take all the money out your neighborhoods, and don't even do nothing. Don't even spread the money out through the neighborhood. So how is another race of people going to respect y'all for that? They can't. So how we going to respect y'all? Simple as that. Yeah, that's a real quick video on Cap. Yeah, that came from Mankind. And they sent their little agents in the hoods to get the cap because the teachers were capitalizing all the words in their videos. So they were trying to subconsciously push that, they were subconsciously pushing it into the youth, because it's always about the youth and the baby. So they subconsciously push that. So when they see a cap video, they're really not going to click on it or be intrigued by it, because they're being brainwashed by the agenda. That's some intel. Told you, man, we back on our planet. It's the activated new bright 10, the Futurtarian. I'm going to say peace, quazah. And I don't take orders from none of you niggas on this planet. And I don't take orders from none of you white people on this planet. It's in the Bureau.